Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden and today we're going over 14 of the best coupes for under $5,000. 2 days ago we did 15 of the best coupes for under $10,000 and this is part of a multi-part series we got going on. I'll put up the picture right now to explain it. It's the best way to explain it. I don't know how else to. But also yesterday we did a video of the 10 cars that nobody talks about but should, and you guys loved that, so we'll definitely be doing more, and you guys left a bunch of comments, so I'm going to include all cars from only the comment section. I can't wait. I feel like that's going to be a new part of this channel, and I found a new series that you guys enjoy, and so now we got three. Oh, it's just awesome. It's just awesome, man. But anyway, if you guys want to support the channel any more than you already have, head on over to www.smoothstance.com/shop to pick yourself up a hat, shirt, or shorts. With that out of the way, guys, let's get right into the video. Anyway, number 14 is the 7th generation Toyota Celica GT, which comes with a 1.8 liter inline 4 that makes 180 horsepower, and it was front wheel drive, and just for some reason the car just didn't sit right with the community. To be honest with you, I don't know why, but I would have to guess it's because the horsepower out of the gate just isn't there really. But it's a Toyota, and you know for a fact that it could make some power if you start to modify it, but nobody really wants to give them a chance because it doesn't have a very recognizable engine in it. Anyways, to non-car guys though, people that have no idea anything about cars, these cars are actually extremely cool. I have a bunch of non-car guy friends, and every time they see a Celica they're like, dude, the thing is so sick. So if you just want to impress somebody that doesn't like cars, then it's a great choice, but I recommend buying a different option. Number 13 is the Scion TC, and that stands for tuberculitis crab. And it comes with a 2.4 liter inline 4 that makes 160 horsepower, and it was front wheel drive. And these cars are honestly, they're kind of hated on within the car community. And to be honest with you, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. The car is pretty much a cooler looking Camry. It has all the same parts from a Camry, but it just looks a little bit sportier. And I kind of hated how Toyota even did that with the car. It seemed like they were trying to grab money out of us, and we wouldn't notice, and we did notice, and so we obviously don't like it. And I don't know, I just felt like it was disrespectful from Toyota. But the looks are pretty cool. That's subject to opinion. I know a lot of people don't like the looks. I actually have seen some very cool Scion TCs before. They're just not very often. These cars can be absolutely cool is what I'm trying to say. It can be a sick car, but please just don't cheap out on it, or you're going to be like every other TC owner and you're not going to get any respect. Number 12 is the 6th generation Honda Accord Coupe, which comes with a 3 liter V6 that makes 200 horsepower, and it was front wheel drive, of course. And I absolutely hate how people always look at Civics or other powerhouses in the Honda family, but they never look at the Accords. The Accords can be some of the coolest cars out there. They look sick if done right. It just takes a little bit more time, and yes, the engines aren't as good for making power as a Civic, but they still can make some decent power, and plus they have more power out of the gate anyway. So if you aren't looking into really modifying the engine and just want a fun car from the get-go, an Accord is a better option. They're literally faster from the get-go. Stock, I'm not gonna lie, these cars are a little bit ugly, but you give it time and it's going to be sick. Number 11 is the Chevy Camaro Catfish, or I think it's the 4th generation, and it comes with a 3.8 liter inline 3.8 liter V6 that makes 200 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive, the first rear wheel drive car of the list. And yes, we are talking about the V6 model because, to be honest, I don't know if you can find an SS under 5K that's actually worth it, but if you can, the V8 is obviously the much cooler option, and you're gonna have a lot more fun with it. Just be careful buying a cheap one because there are a lot of cheap Catfish Camaros out there. Anyways, even though this car is just a Camaro, and you might think it's a Camaro, so it's a bad option to daily drive it, you would be wrong. Just because a car is a muscle car, it doesn't mean that you can't daily drive it. They're actually really good options to daily drive, these old Camaros. And if you're worried about being made fun of in the car community for buying the V6 and not the V8, don't be. Literally everybody gets made fun of in the car community for anything, so you kind of have to just let it go in one ear and out the other. Number 10 is the Mazda RX-8, which comes with a 1.3 liter 2-rotor that makes 232 horsepower, and it was rear-wheel drive, but was also very unreliable, which sucks because the looks of these cars is absolutely awesome. I really wish that people were more into them and started building them more, but they just don't for some reason. If you have enough time and money to build a car, then it's a great choice. You're gonna have lots of fun in it, and you will be able to see they're a lot different than anybody else's car on the road, and that's really cool in the car community. But I just recommend, like, usually people watching my videos are looking to get their first car, and it's not a good choice for a first car. And I know this car is technically like a sedan because it has like those weird truck doors in the back, but it's not noticeable really, and the back seats are pretty much non-existent anyway, so I'm gonna put it in the coupe video. Number 9 is the Honda Civic EG Coupe, which comes with a 1.6 liter inline-4 that makes a whopping 70 horsepower, and it was front-wheel drive. And yes, the car came with 70 horsepower. That's half of what my PT Cruiser has. It's just, I mean, we all know deep inside that they never stay at that horsepower number. People always modify these cars to some great extent that just makes you question if reality is real or not, because you're just like, you're getting gapped by a car that is supposed to have 70 horsepower. But if you're someone who isn't looking to like build a car really fast and you don't have a lot of money or time to do something like that, then honestly, it's not going to be a really fun choice for you, because it literally has 70 horsepower. Like, yes, you can modify it to be a show car, and if that's what you're going for, totally fine. It looks cool, and you can make it look even cooler. But if you're actually like trying to get power out of it or have fun in the car, I don't think it's the best choice. Number 8 is the second generation Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX, which comes with a 2-liter inline-4 that makes 210 horsepower, and it was all-wheel drive, first all-wheel drive car of the list, and I think the only one, to be honest. Actually, I think this is the only car that is all-wheel drive. No, there's a couple other that are all-wheel drive. Okay, so not the only one that's all-wheel drive, but this car actually did a whole like good, bad, and ugly on it, so watch that if you're interested in actually buying one, because I go way in more detail about it. But basically, they're very old now, and finding one in good condition is a challenge, but if you can, then they are very much worth the price. They have some insane potential for power, and they can look absolutely just fantastic when done right. And the styling, like, today, it holds up so well today, like in today's community. It's just insane. But yeah, if you're trying to like buy one, just be careful. Number 7 is the BMW 328i E36, which comes with a 2.8 liter inline-6 that makes 190 horsepower, and it was rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, which is why I said the Eclipse wasn't the only all-wheel drive option, because BMW, they just know how to appeal to the public like freaking legends. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel like if a car company is going to make a sports car, they should make a rear-wheel drive option for us sports car guys, and then an all-wheel drive option for people that don't want to be cool. But anyway, this one might be a little bit confusing to you because there are a lot of numbers when looking into buying a BMW, but pretty much if it has an X, it's all-wheel drive. And if it doesn't have an X, it's rear-wheel drive. And then just look at the pictures to tell if it's a coupe or not, because yes, there are lots of E36 sedans, but also there are lots of coupes, so you just gotta look for the right one. But anyways, this BMW is on the rise in price right now, and so pick it up ASAP if you want one, because they're not gonna be under $5,000 pretty soon. Number 6 is the BMW 330ci E46. Yeah, I know. And it comes with a 3-liter inline-6 that makes 220 horsepower, and it was rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive once again. And yes, it also was available as a sedan too, but just keep your eyes out for the coupes. And to be honest, these last two cars, it's kind of personal preference which one do you want to go with. Like, just if you like the E46 better, go with that. If you like the E36 better, go with that. I personally recommend the E46 just for power purposes and potential. And to be honest, the price right now, the E36 is like so much higher in price, which is really weird. Like, you would think it's an older car and so it would be cheaper, but it's not. The E36 is actually more expensive. But either way, I actually like the E36 looks a lot better, so it's up to you. But both are good at pretty much anything, especially drifting. They're both really good drift cars. Also, the car stock, it looks boring as hell, but modified, it's a blast to drive. Number 5, it is the Honda Civic SI Coupe, which comes with a 1.6 liter inline-4 that makes 160 horsepower, and it was front-wheel drive and a legend in the tuner world, man. I mean, come on, man. The friggin' EK Civic, the EK Civic is so good at building power, and you can do it all for just so dirt cheap. So if you really want to build a race car, but you're on like a very strict budget, this is your best bet, besides maybe one more car on this list that we haven't gotten into. We'll get into that though, it is a good car. They also look really cool when done right, but please do it right, because they can also look so freaking dumb. I've seen a lot of just, oh my god. Some EK Civic owners do not deserve to have a car. But anyway, yes, the car is front-wheel drive, but that's actually better for daily driving anyway. And who doesn't like to be able to daily drive their car year-round? I know I wish I could. Front-wheel drive conversion on my 350Z. Number 4 is the new Edge Ford Mustang GT, which comes with a 4.6 liter V8 that makes 260 horsepower, and it was rear-wheel drive. And now, before you freaking Chevy guys get your panties in a bunch and start coming at my house and start beating me up and slapping me around like I'm a pinata, I'm not the biggest muscle car guy out there. So from the outside looking in, from just a guy with an unbiased opinion, under $5,000, I would much rather have the new Edge Mustang GT than the Catfish Camaro that has a V6 in it. Like, come on, it makes sense, right? Like, you'd rather have a V8 muscle car than a V6. And on top of that, the Catfish Camaro just isn't like the cool car. But anyways, the new Edge is one of my favorite generation Mustangs. They look so sporty. And even though they aren't as easy to modify as the Fox body, which is another great choice for a coupe under 5K, by the way, they still have some insane potential if you swap an LS in it. Oh my, shots fired, man down, call the paramedics. Third place is the Infiniti G35 Coupe, which comes with a 3.5 liter V6 that makes 287 horsepower, and it was rear-wheel drive as well. And come on, man, how could I not put it this high? I own a 350Z, and even if I didn't own a 350Z, it still is a 300 horsepower car for under $5,000 that looks so unbelievably good in my opinion, while having absolutely massive aftermarket support and being rear-wheel drive and fun as hell and pretty damn cheap. I love the G35. That's no secret on my channel. If you've been a fan of my channel for a while now, I bet you can name every single freaking thing about the G35 because of how much I talk about them. But under 5K, you can pick these cars up all day. Just do it soon because they absolutely are going to blow up in price pretty soon, just like the 350Z. And so you're going to want to get your hands on one before that happens. Second place is the Acura Integra GSR, which stands for Good Septic System, Robert, which comes with a 1.8 liter inline 4 that makes 170 horsepower, and it was front wheel drive. And yes, that number is pretty damn low to be second on the list. But you know how I said before with the EK Civic that there's only one other like tuner car out there that's better than under 5K? Yeah, well, here it is. All right, the Integra GSR. It looks a lot better than the Civic in my opinion, and it has pretty much the exact same amount of tuning potential under the hood. So I just had to put it here. I love the Integras. All right, I think they're such sick cars. Not the new ones though. Golly, Acura, what were you doing with the new Integra? Oh my God, that thing is hideous. But yeah, I love the older Integras. They're really cool. They're also super easy to work on. So if you're like new to mechanics, then there you go. And they're also reliable as hell for daily driving, so it's not like you even have to really work on it that much because you're going to be able to drive it 5,000 years. But first place, it is none other than the Lexus SC400, and that comes with a 4 liter V8 that makes 250 horsepower, and it was rear-wheel drive. And the engine in this car is actually very good at building power, but for some reason, just nobody talks about the car. It's honestly so freaking weird to me. The engine, the 1UZ, is not the easiest or the cheapest to get power out of by no means, but if you got some extra cash to spare and you got a little bit of time and you know your stuff, this car will be the most fun to you on this list in my personal opinion. I don't think there's any other car out there that's going to be as much fun for under $5,000 that's a coupe. Just putting it out there. They also look really, really cool to me. The coolest on this list, in my opinion. That's why I put it first. But the one huge downside is they didn't come in a freaking manual transmission because they're a luxury car. And so they were like, oh, luxury doesn't have manuals. They have automatics. I don't care. All right, it's not a luxury car anymore. You think it's luxurious drifting my car around? That's not luxurious. That's exactly what I'm going to do with the SC400. So why did you freaking put an automatic But, I mean, I guess it's good because the fact that they have an automatic transmission means that most people don't want them. So if you want one, you can pick it up for pretty damn cheap and have a Japanese V8 that's ready to drift and looks cool as hell. You're just going to have to do a manual swap, which, yeah, that's a little bit pricey, but it's well worth it. And that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and comment a comment down below for more videos just like this one or something. I don't know, whatever they say on YouTube nowadays. I'm not up to speed on it, but anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every little bit of support that we got. I really appreciate the support we got yesterday on yesterday's video because that shows that you guys liked it, and I'm very happy about that because I really liked doing it. So we'll definitely do a couple more of those. It was a blast. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Das Vidania. Have a nice night.